Yo, welcome guys to this platform. And as you can see, my guest today is, Unarems, the wavy baby, as he is affectionately known. And now, he's has a new project coming out soon. One single is already out, another one is dropping tomorrow, right?
That is correct.
Yeah, man. So yeah, bro. Una, how are you, bro?
I'm doing great, man. Doing great. I'm doing nice. It's really an honor being on here. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you, man. I've been following your music for quite a while, and when you drop the Wavy Baby EP, it's a project that I was really into, and I even went as far as finding out the story behind it. And you're a deep guy, and that's why we're here. The Wavy Baby EP, you were talking about a person being in love with a mermaid, and that was your interpretation through the music. So now I wonder, with the music that you're releasing now, like what is the concept behind it?
Um, just touch on Wavy Baby, I guess. I think the story was wrapped around like that, or in like that kind of a concept, because initially at like its base level, it basically just speaks about two people coming from very different worlds. And I try to use a mermaid for the girl to try to emphasize that, because usually in relationships, you guys are raised in very different environments and different families, and you operate very differently. But that's besides the point. With this new tape, I'm specifically calling it a mixtape because it's not as conceptual in a sense. These are like a collection of songs or ideas that I've been brewing, some of them for a year, largely written or produced during lockdown. And I think I met up with Savannah, who's my manager, who's been helping me out with that. And I actually played her a different project, which was intended to drop last year. It's Crush. That was an EP, but we're turning that into an album. So when I played that for her, she was like, "When do you want to release this?" I was like, "June," and she's like, "It sounds very spring, summery, so it wouldn't fit for the time I wanted to drop." And hearing that, I was a bit bummed because I was like, "Okay, cool. It sounds like you're saying we have to shift this and move it up." I was like, "It's okay. I'll just make another project right on the spot, just like that." So it's really just like a brain fart, if, if anything else, but a beautiful one at that, because it's these songs deeply inspired by the one girl that's in my life that, means so much to me. And I think being in lockdown, it's been a lot of moments where, especially the first round last year around March, yeah, where, we were both isolated, very different places and couldn't really see each other, and just having that longing. And I feel like a whole lot of other people around the world probably had that, where they couldn't see their loved ones and just longed for, their presence and their touch. And this is a project for that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's called Hold Me When It's Cold, a
Yeah.
mixtape. And the first single that came out was with Langa Mavuso, who's like a brilliant artist,
A
for a song
legend.
called Next to Me. And
Yeah.
it's a very special song, and the sound, you guys went, I don't want to say old school R&B, but you just were like, you know what, you didn't look at what's trending right now. You were just like, you just wrote the music that you want to write, and it's out there. So tell me about Next to Me.
Man, it's really crazy. I think one word I could use in the mantra for my life is serendipity. Not really a mantra, but it's one thing that properly encapsulates what I experience a whole lot of times. And I'm saying that because it's a lot of moments where I'm not expecting something to happen, that it'll just turn out to be so beautiful. So I was in the studio with Christa. He's a wonderful friend of mine and a brilliant producer. He's been working with the likes of Blackie, Amanda Black, and Something Soweto. I think Something was actually in the studio the day he was just going through beats, and this one comes on. I'm like, bro, this is ridiculous. It's insane. And he's like, he didn't produce it. It's by this other kid called Rillo. But it just sounded beautiful, man. Like just how you heard the intro, how the piano like, you know, introduces itself and just like sets the stage for the rest of the song. And right then and there, I already had melodies in my head that I recorded on my phone. I was just like, okay, we don't have time right now, but you know, send me the beat on email and I'll write to it. And one Friday, I'm working from home, and I obviously get tired. So I'm just like, what am I gonna do with my break or my lunch? I'm like, you know what? Let's pull out a beat and write a song. So I went into my emails, pulled out that beat, and started writing to it. And you know, the lyrics were just flowing. I just had inspiration from what I just described now, going back into that zone of like longing for being with my partner and yeah, just being in each other's presence and space. So I wrote everything, and I had recorded a demo in my room, but I didn't like how my voice was sounding on the hook. So I was just like, let me hit Langa up real quick, and he definitely brought through his, you know, star vocals. But shortly after writing that song, I was like, hey, can I stretch myself? Can I do anything else? And when I was done with Next to Me, I opened up another beat and wrote BTB. So the single that drops tomorrow. Those are both written on the same day, yeah.
And you had to get the Beast Blackie on that
bro
song.
No, I mean, at that point I've already written like a whole song. I'm on song 2. I did a verse, I did a hook. I won't lie, I was a bit lazy. But I was like, this would do a feature. And man, Blackie's one hell of a talent. He's been fiercely, you know, pushing the Blackie agenda, and I'm very proud of him and the trajectory his career has taken. But most definitely, like when I heard that beat and then I heard what I had done on it, I was just like, who does fit on this? And he was the first person to pop up in my head, and obviously killed it, because that is what he does.
Yeah. And, you know, working with artists like Blackie, working with artists like Langa, those are not easy features to get, because for them to kind of like agree to work with you, it means that they respect you as an artist. So my point is, obviously, you know, the caliber of artists that you guys make is different and it's deep. So I want to know, as an artist, like, you know, what grounds you like spiritually to come up with all this creativity that you come up with?
I've always found that question to be a bit vague because I'm not too sure how to answer it. What grounds me?
Spiritually.
Even that, like, I mean, in terms of like my spirituality, I was born and raised a Christian. I still very much believe in God. I've gone into, like, growing up, it's been a whole lot of self-discovery and discovering a lot about like the world around me. And I think I'm pretty much just being grateful for every day as it comes. I know this, like I was speaking to a friend about this, how there's certain things you may find that you do and certain things I do that I could take for granted because it comes so easily to me, but it's not the case for a lot of other people out there. So it's in respecting your craft, in respecting your talent and your gift, and just being grateful. I came across this phrase on one of the videos I was watching online. It said, don't look at it don't look at it as something you have to do. Be grateful that you get to do it. So with the music, it's definitely been therapeutic for me. I think that's why I haven't dropped an album yet, because I want to be at a certain place when I say I'm dropping an album. All of these projects have been made amidst a whole lot of adversity, you know, and there's been a lot of challenges and roadblocks to get to do them. So the music might be super beautiful, but I myself was going through a lot making them, you know. Because I still work a 9 to 5 job, which I am grateful for. I feel like it stimulates a part of my mind, a part of me. But I'm definitely working towards becoming like a full-time artist. And for everything else that exists, man, the same way there's always going to be night and day, it's the same way there's going to be problems and solutions, right? So I'm just glad and grateful that for everything I get to experience, whether I like it or not, there's an outlet for me. I don't know if that properly answers the question, but
yeah, no, it does answer the question, because I mean, I understand that, correct me if I'm wrong, like, you're from, you're a pastor's kid, right? And you grew up in the church. So for me, every time I see an artist, like a new age artist, who comes from a Christian background, and then they make like, soulful and R&B music. My question is like, okay, cool. How does your family feel about this? Is there a pressure to be like, you must do gospel?
Sam, I won't lie. I think my mom would be super happy and excited if I started making gospel music. And I probably will make a gospel tune at some point. I was in the room with my older brother, Dundi, this one day, and we just wrote this very beautiful tune. And that's the thing about it. Like when you're raised in the church, at least, like you're exposed to the musicality, and what you chase is the feeling, right? Like it all just feels like worship, man. So even the songs in this tape, you're gonna hear it like in the musicality. It takes you to a place. There's a feeling it gives you, and that's because I'm not just making it. But yeah, to answer your question, my family is very supportive. I think in the beginning, my parents were a bit skeptical. They're like, "Are you gonna be able to balance this?" Because I was still in school, and it was a challenge to me to say, "Hey, if you really want to do this, take care of your grades, so they can't complain, and then go out and do what you have to do." And that's something I carried over even into varsity, where I'd have assignments and exams, and I just make sure all the work is done. But in my free time, I knew what my heart wanted me to do. So yeah.
Yeah, man, and that's amazing, bro. And it's also what's crazy to me is that you are able to kind of like balance having a full-time job and also being a creative, because the images that you project on social media is like, damn, this guy is like 24/7 at this. I'm talking about your image now, your brand. You're wearing a suit right now. It's a brand new look, and also the filters are different. It's like, so tell me about that, your branding basically.
I don't know, like, what do you want to know about the brand? I guess first off, I could just say, sorry, there's just a call. You could edit this part out. Okay. With balancing, I think that's become the finesse, right? Like you have to make it look like it's the only thing you're doing, because it wouldn't make any sense if I came to a show or I released music and you'd see, that guy really looks like he's been stressing, but it has to look like Una Rams. Una as just the individual. Personally, I can go off and code for days, and actually this Tuesday I had a full day of work, and right after that I had another like 6 hours or so that we spent doing a shoot for something else. And that's exclusive news to you because no one else knows this. But yeah, but it's that whole separation of concerns. At the end of the day, whether you have a job or not, you have some time to yourself, and what you use that time for is up to you. I always say this with my friends when they're just like, we always want to hang out, but you seem like you're busy. I'm just like, for the people I care about, I will make time. And I feel like that applies to everything else. For the things you care about, you will make time. But yeah, moving on to explaining this whole branding or the character. I hate persona or like alter ego because it feels it feels strange to me if I go in that direction. So I'm seeing it as the project's painting a movie or telling a story, and there's just a character that I can use as a vehicle to further amplify what I'm trying to communicate. Because I'm very eclectic myself. Um, or yeah, I draw inspiration from a whole lot of other places, or a lot of different places rather. So I found that it becomes hard for people to pinpoint exactly what I am or what I'm doing. A lot of people don't even know whether to call me a rapper or not, because it's like one day he could be in hip hop, the other day he's on Afrobeat, the other day he's on R&B. So it could get confusing. So this was, I sat down already last year for Crush. I was developing a character just so I could properly communicate with the team and all the brilliant creatives that I've been collaborating with. So they would know, for instance, if it's a stylist like Amy Zama, how to style me. If it's, a photographer like Michelle Gangram, he know what we're going for. And I feel like once the inner team has that vision, it's so much easier to communicate. And that's why the image is looking so brilliant, like to the public eye. And you can definitely tell, okay, there's a difference or there's a shift in areas. And it's just made everything simple, man. And it's cool to see people or even hear people, because I went out and everyone was just like, "Hey, Sam Sonic." It's kind of weird because I'm just like, guys, I'm still Una. That's just the character.
Yeah.
But it's cool to see how they relate with that. I think people actually think Sam Sonic is hotter than Una Rams, which is a problem. Because people be like, "Yo, Sam Sonic is hot," and I'm like, you see. But yeah, that's kind of another reason. Like, I think for the most part, a lot of my music had been along the lines of like airy fairy, very like, young love, puppy love, very much in that dimension, for a younger crowd. And I've always wanted to grow with my audience. And I think this is more me stepping into the age I'm at. I really hate and love growing at the same time. I don't want to be old because I have a weird and deep fear of like old age. But in terms of maturity and growing and learning, those are the parts I love. And yeah, I think I just want to be able to communicate that. And yeah, outside of the music, there has to be a way to like tie that in and have people relate to it a lot better. Yeah.
Yeah, man. And lastly, I just maybe just want to get a comment from you. Like, you promote love in an era where artists from your age group are all about, and I'm not bashing anyone. I'm just my general sense of like music that's out
You're
there
allowed to have an
now.
opinion.
Yeah, it's about trapping, it's about bitches, it's about all these things. We don't see artists promoting love like back in the day in the 90s or even early 2000s, So, but you are one person that's very vocal about being in love. You just spoke about, having a girlfriend, someone that you care about, and, that's what you're pushing, right? So my question now would be, I know in the media industry in the past, a lot of artists will say, no, I'm single, because they want to push that image where women, female fans would support your music because they feel like, no, but this guy's single, I can have a chance with him. But you're already saying like, no, I have a woman. So my question really is like, why is it like that? Why did you take the love approach as opposed to like, the rock star approach that a lot of people take?
I don't know, man. Like, I think it just speaks a lot to who I am as a person. I was generally raised around a whole lot of love. And damn, there's a lot I could say about this. I feel like everything kind of needs a voice. We've heard about the parties. We've heard about, the rock stars and the trap and the money and whatnot. Like, and that's a subject that will carry on and be there because people resonate with that. And I won't lie, I myself too like to like jam out to a couple trap songs here and there. But we need the songs to speak to moments where you're craving for someone's time and presence. You're looking for affection. Your heart got broken. You want a song to speak to that. I remember being like, I don't know what business I had being heartbroken, in primary school, like early high school. But I was playing Adele on loop, bro, because it was speaking to the heart. And I think there's a lot of other kids like me that, probably can express themselves other ways, probably can't express themselves. And this kind of gives them an edge. And I was actually speaking to my girlfriend, of which, first of all, shout outs to you, babe. Thank you for inspiring these songs. I appreciate you. And secondly, like she's in love, addicted to almost what's this, murder crime documentaries, which at first I didn't get, because who wants to see people get killed? But anyways, the one thing she was just communicating to me or just explaining was how it seems like the common thread with a lot of the people that end up as serial killers is that like there wasn't enough love, or they weren't given that love as children. So I see a lot of problems that happen in our society, in our country, in the world. And it's just like if we had a bit more kindness and love towards one another, we'd probably have a lot less problems. So I'm out here preaching love, man.
Well said, well said. Rems, thank you so much for your time, man. I really appreciate it. And good luck with the project. Oh yeah, when is it dropping, full project? I know tomorrow you're dropping BTB with Black Ink, but when is the full 8-track project dropping?
Next week.
Next week?
Yes, sir, the 27th of August.
Okay, I know. Thank you so much for your time, brother. We appreciate it. And yeah, good luck with the music, man.
Thank you so much. Have a brilliant day.
Hola, 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 hola. Thank you so much for watching, guys. That was the interview with Rems. Please share and subscribe.